Alright, chapter 5, let's have a chat. For those of you unfamiliar, hi, my name is Rigger, this is your right, and what happens is I've just watched through the episode, so I'm now going to watch through it a second time, and give you my thoughts as we go through, using some keyframes on the screen to let you know where I'm at. Before we start, YouTube things, if you liked the video, please give it a like, share it around if you think others would like it too, let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe if you want to see more. Now let's get into this thing. So first off, I'm a bit lucky, as last week holds true, I am overtired and overslept this one. I woke up at like 5:30 when I'm supposed to wake up at 3 to watch this. So the video might be out late, sorry if so. Luckily there's a bit of a long fight scene here so I can skip a bit more time in the episode. But anyway, let's get started and see how we go, because this is an interesting one. Starting out, we start as we mean to proceed with Amity, and it looks, I guess, upgraded enough that you can buy that they've been doing stuff to it. The mine looks dead, but I guess that's expected. It is weird that it floats out here sort of off in the tundra off to the side and was ignored. And, you know, like, Tyrion should know what it is and all those things, but whatever, we'll keep going because that's the narrative they're telling anyway. I know that the scale is like, well, I mean, it's correct and it's there to show how big it is, but this shot looks so weird. I don't know, I'm the only one who laughed at this. It just looks silly, and I don't know what can be done about it. It reminds me of, you know, like the helmsman you see on the, like, Titanic and that are sitting up on the little nest to look out. It reminds me of something like that. Like, it feels like he's up in a crow's nest on a steamship or something. I don't know. There's weird references all through this episode, so it wouldn't surprise me if that was intentional. You know, the launch is so haphazard. I understand, like, we need to be over the mine to get lots of fuel, or the dust from the mine straight up into Amity and use it. I didn't think setting pipe bomb charges and blowing up the actual ground to launch us into the air should ever be a viable option. Like, you're just gonna damage it? I know that it works because it's whatever, and it has consequences, but it's just like, that wasn't really the direction I saw this going, was let's plant pipe bombs in the mine, but whatever. Alright, two things. First of all, I can't remember his name. The actor's name who plays Lee in The Walking Dead, who plays Pietro here. Fantastic actor, but his voice sounds very off this season. I've seen other people comment on it. It just feels like he forgot the voice he originally did, or at least when he's yelling, or when he's, putting a lot of emphasis in his voice, it seems to change this voice for Pietro. But, the other thing is Maria being like, oh, don't you think Penny's had enough people telling her what to do? Like, no, this is saving the world, and, like, what are you talking about? It's not a time to, like, pity the child because you're telling them to do something they don't want to do. This is, hey, we gotta, like, save the world, let's do the thing. So, I don't know, just not really the time for the heartfelt message. It's like, let's do the thing. Yeah, whatever. And speaking of voices, probably the last bit of criticism I'll give to the show in terms of, well, in this episode because of that, because the rest is fine, but that, and where do you think you're going? Did Jessica Negri have like 4 colds and have her head down and also be slightly underwater? That sounded nothing like Cinder. That one line just sounded so wrong, and I don't know what happened there. Did they try and put an effect on it that didn't work? Did they lower the pitch because she's supposed to be moving? Did she try something new? I don't know. But that sounded so... If you just isolate that clip and you play it and you're like, what character is that? You'd never guess it. Like, except for maybe like the stretched out vowels and stuff, you maybe think it's Cinder, but I don't know. That one voice clip is so wrong. Also, it's weird that they went past in like a flaming ball as if Cinder was flying, but actually it was Cinder on the roof, but... doesn't matter to me that much. Everything's fine about this clip except her line sounds so weird and I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you. I have to hand it over to an audio engineer to tell me what's wrong with it, but something's wrong with it. But anyway, on to the fight. And they caught this on the second time watch through that Neo in the back tips her hat to Penny, just takes it off and tips it to. That's hilarious. Whoever does some of the like minor animations, the background stuff, especially anything concerning Neo, is great. So fantastic work. Thank you for that. I feel like there's stuff I miss even watching these through a couple times, because Neo is just fantastic. Just keep your eyes on Neo if she's ever on screen. Anyway, fantastic job. And here we have a mega dust explosion. It's kind of interesting, like it just goes up in colors, and I get that like animating all the different elements would be weird, but I don't think you'd get as much thrust out of this as you think. Like all the purple is like gravity dust, so it depends what direction it's firing, and you know, I guess there would be fire and that makes sense to sort of push outward, but like the ice, shouldn't it be mostly like solid? And then the electrical would be like arcing to the arena or something. This is the problem with doing like, yeah, no, it makes like natural phenomena like electricity and stuff. Like I don't know how its explosions is supposed to work. I like the attention to the G-forces and stuff, pushing them down, that's kind of interesting. But here's like the problem, right? So you see this, where it all goes up and they get the alert and the explosions happen. This shows that it was fine. Like, except for Penny being there that Ironwood wants, there's no reason they couldn't have just let them do this. This is where it gets weird, of like, you were just stopping them launching this thing because you didn't want to do it, but it doesn't hurt you at all. And yeah, this is where some of it falls apart. Like it was that easy. Like it's not even a criticism of the show so much as like Ironwood's motivation is a bit lacking, where it's like you really wanted them to not do this project because you didn't want them diverting resources to something you didn't think would work, but look, it's so easily worked. They put in hard work on the station apparently, like, you know, Maria and Pietro, but like basically you could have left Maria, Pietro and a few soldiers there and they could have got this done quicker and launched fine with you just pressing a button on your terminal, and nothing would have detracted from you and the rest of Atlas. So what are you doing? This is where it gets a bit like, yeah, I don't see, this wasn't, Ironwood rallying against this doesn't make too much logical sense, except that he wanted to be gone already. I get that bit, but since he's still here, there was no reason to fight this happening, sort of thing. Alright, strange reference number 1. Does anyone else get a Gilgamesh vibe off of summoning all the swords, despite them being on the ground and that, but she's summoning like an array of weapons and is about to throw them straight at Penny, so that feels like Gilgamesh, reference 1, if you don't count the weird accidental Titanic reference. Immediately followed by weird reference number 2, one that's pretty common though if you do like film or whatever. If you have a mech on screen, you immediately reference Alien. You get away from her, you bitch. Well, there you go. They didn't even let us say bitch, so, you know, whatever. The power loader here, or at least, you know, because Alien, but at least it kind of makes sense to do work in that up here. Also, I feel like it landing with its arms crossed in front of it as a shield is also a reference to something. It's sparking in my brain as a reference, but I don't remember what it is. But anyway, alright, first use of Emerald using her semblance, and it was to hide the ship till the last second. Wouldn't call that an upgrade there, Emerald. It's pretty much what you did anyway, except it's a slightly bigger thing and you didn't hold it as long. But whatever. I like Neo getting out, immediately pointing her umbrella at the mech. That was a little funny background image. Neo winning once again. I don't have too much to say as they're fighting, but I will say 2 things. 1, I like the reference to bringing back the arrows. It's nice to see Cinder back to her roots. I like that. Thank you. And 2, the music was very, not unimpressive, it's the wrong word. It was just score, like it was, you know, guitars and stuff, but it didn't feel like a battle song, and I thought Cinder versus Penny would deserve a song, but guess not. Anyway, moving on. Alright, so I think everyone was waiting for Maria to launch the end of her scythe out. Like, I didn't think she took it off. It's still there. And, you know, it's RWBY, so stuff can fold out of stuff. People are probably going to be mad that she's one of the people that landed a legitimate hit on Neo. I'm not super mad about it. I'm actually glad they made her take this route, because I really thought that with all the Star Wars references she was going to become Yoda in Attack of the Clones, where she, you know, the old senile little person who suddenly becomes insane and doing super backflips and moving at 1,000 times the speed you've seen him before with all the gymnastics, and like I literally thought they'd reference that, especially with the ships around, like bouncing off the ships and whatever else. So instead, seeing someone who has her semblance and her lifetime of skills, landing a kick or 2, being able to block a shot or 2, I'm not as mad about that. I don't think it ruins Neo or anything, so I don't think we're getting to that. So I'm not mad about it. I'm sure some people will be. Though perhaps with the kick in the head and the shot in the face and a few others, she maybe lands a few too many shots, I guess. But it's over quick enough. Like, it's okay. Alright, so first of all, Cinder does a terrible job of sabotaging this thing if you could just shoot the crap out of Pietro and the computer, but whatever. Also, this is an interesting line. if she really sees it that way. Like, we have like her grim shoulder, like full in frame as she says it. But do I think she believes it? I think she wants to believe it. I think she has convinced herself this way. So at least we have perhaps the start of the clash with Salem that will eventually happen. So that's interesting. And the whole exchange with Penny just after, like, I choose to fight people that care about me, or you would serve people if you weren't built that way. Cinder being super dismissive of Penny as a being is fine. Like, it, suits her being mean and not a good person. That's perfectly fine. I wonder if there's something to the I fight for people that care about me. If Cinder thinks Salem does care about her in a way, and because I always felt like the whole sort of motherly side of Salem and the way she treats Cinder is a direct reflection of how Cinder learned how to treat people like Emerald. Like, it just passed on down the line. If Cinder thought that Salem actually cared about her, or at least was, promised her all this power and stuff, and that's exactly what Cinder did to Emerald, that she said, you follow me, you won't be hungry again, you'll become a status where you never were before. And, now Emerald has a deep respect for Cinder, but obviously Cinder doesn't care, and that's probably the same for Salem. So it always felt like a passing down of things, and I wonder if that'll come to a head through lines like that, but who knows. While I'm here, the last episode still doesn't have subtitles on it, or it didn't last time I was using it for a video, which was yesterday, so that's pretty poor. Get on that, Rooster Teeth. And also, another weird reference, her doing this, and in the next frame where she's like clenching her hands up and pulling, it feels like Spider-Man 2 when you stop in the train, like all the strings coming off and like the big hard clench of hands in trying to move the thing. Just like I said, there's weird references all over this thing, and even some of the things that maybe aren't references feel like that. But anyway. Alright, two things real quick, just something I picked up on. When Cinder is tackling Penny, her her grunts, her effort grunts and stuff, I swear one of them in there, the loudest one where she's going like that sound is recycled from when she got her arm cut off. It sounds exactly the same. Just an audio thing. I think it's mixed in. I think it's the exact same one. Maybe she repeated it and got it sounding similar, but I swear they took the clip from when she got her arm cut off, one of those pained grunts while she was trying to do this. Anyway, not really important, just caught my ear. And also, I like the reference, at least the grim draining aura thing that she did to Raven is still there, so at least it's continuity, so yeah, it's good. Like I said, this, along with the Archer thing and everything like that, I like people that are bringing back some of those things we know. Giving continuity to some of the fighting styles, etc. So, yeah, it's appreciated. Two interesting notes. I think it's interesting that Penny is deciding to do what Cinder does and recreate her weapons in an element. How Cinder creates her swords and that with her maiden powers. Don't know why she wouldn't or whatever, it's just an interesting choice. Also, can someone count, it just come to mind, can someone count Penny's swords around her and see if they remembered to take out the one that Watts has? Because I don't think they did, because I remember earlier, like when she's flying around and they're in a circle, the circle seems like even, so has she spread out the amount before, or did they just put back in the normal amount of swords and didn't bother with that? I'm fine if they didn't, it's not like super laziness or anything, because no one's gonna count except for me who asked to count, but I'm just wondering. Also, Emerald continually being at the service exits, the walkway exits, which is like the last place we really saw her do anything when she walked out of the stadium in Volume 3. It just feels odd. Like, she ran into one before when she yelled to Neo, let's go, and now she's run back out of one. Now she's calling to Cinder. Just interesting. I don't know. Okay, now we go to talk. Two things. One, I like Neo pulling the needle-thin rapier or whatever it is out from her umbrella to kill Maria. That's, again, nice continuity with someone paying attention to the weapons. Good stuff. Two, I kinda wish Maria died here, and that I'd be much cooler with her getting a final stand-in and getting hits on Neo if she died, and I don't know why she's still alive. What are we doing with her? And, three, ding dong, the dream is dead. The fake lamp theory is shattered because Neo's aura is shattered. Am I sad about it? No, it's the first time we've ever seen it, and she got blindsided by Penny's lasers at full blast. I'm okay with that, to an extent. If Maria broke her aura, I would be madder, but the fact Penny just blasted her across a room and it broke, okay. Also, she recovers pretty well, but, yeah, unless the lamp is gone when Salem goes to look for it, this pretty much kills the dream, ladies and gents. So the lamp is probably real. Unless it vanished, and Salem's gonna find that out when she goes to look for it, because she didn't have it when we see her later, as far as I remember right now. But, yeah, chances are they would show it to us if it was vanished, because we don't know where it's kept, so it's not like we're gonna see Salem go to where it's kept, and suddenly it's not there, and the reveal happens. So, there we go, that dream died, finally. But, at least I'm expecting it to. But anyway, moving on. You know, I said I was lucky because there's a lot of fighting, so I could, you know, have less to talk about, but, still not the case, because 2 points. 1, interesting choice to have Cinder take the spear out again, because I've never seen her fight with a full spear. I know she threw one through Weiss, but it always seemed like a corruption of Pyrrha's spear, obviously, and it always seemed like an insult more than something she would use as like a two-handed weapon, so that's interesting. And also, I have to ask, I guess it's Emerald said she upgraded her semblance, and Penny's human-ish, but isn't it weird to like try and recreate multiple images on a brain that isn't a brain? That's curious how that works. More people to just be mad about how Penny's a robot and shouldn't get maiden powers and all that stuff. I'm not going into it. It's been talked about enough. I've given how I think it works. I think that tricking her brain, quote unquote brain, is actually weirder. And I know she uses her visual senses to pick out which one is which, and that makes sense too. I like that they did that. It's just weird that it affects her the same. But I'm not mad about it or whatever. We can move on. It's magic and abilities and semblances and whatever, so don't take it too seriously, guys. Weird note, Cinder may have got absolutely decked here, and that's fine, and I'm cool with that. But interesting they didn't actually show an aura break. Just interesting, despite being knocked down. Especially since it's established that the maiden powers and that, like the magic is separate from the aura, so it can continue after it's gone, it's just you're more vulnerable. But anyway. Alright, time to give my big compliment for this episode, because there definitely is one deserved. Emerald's voice actress, I'm sorry I don't know your name off the top of my head. Great job here. And the way she delivers it, and we get our cut to Penny, who actually has like a realization and stops, that there seems to be real caring here. Whether it's deserved or not, we know Cinder doesn't care, but Emerald cares. And Penny totally can see Emerald cares, and I think that's really interesting. Like, you have someone like Penny seeing that even the bad guys, there's like, they legitimately have feelings for each other and care and have that human emotion that Penny values. It's just an interesting choice. You know, I know I can't take you down, but I'll fill that thing full of holes for you. You know, like there's that I would give my life right here for this, and for her. And Penny like stops and like swaps off the maiden powers and just lets them go, and I sort of can't blame her. I think it's interesting. What's going to happen next with Penny, and that's going to undo a lot of this and not really make it matter, and I don't think we're going to get that conversation about Penny questioning what the bad guys feel and their motivations. But yeah, I like this moment with Emerald and Penny. I really do. People are going to be mad about it, like, oh, logically, if the bad guys are there, Penny's a robot, like, I work on logic, just kill them and blast them now so things are fine. But no, I like this moment. I like the humanization. I like the real playing on emotions, and yeah, so good stuff. Great voice work, good animation to show what's going on. I buy it. I like the reasoning. So this is good. Thanks for that. Despite it not being in there, I'm pretty sure that we're supposed to assume her aura is broken and she's way down, but doesn't matter to me. We can skip past that detail because I've complimented how good the face work has been, the expression work, especially on Neo, who obviously needs it because of her communication and that. But look at his face. Excellent work, whoever put this together. Yeah, it switches, like it's only on screen for like a millisecond, and then she looks angrily and determined to Neo to get us out of here and all that. But yeah, excellent work. Great job, people. Animation team putting in a shift this episode with the fighting and the face work and the little moments of body language, so excellent stuff. I think some people might think it's weird that I gave my big compliment to Emerald and that, but not here. Again, it's not bad. I like the moment. I actually really like it. Scripting-wise, I like the expression from Pietro, how much he really sees Penny as a real person, how much he really cares. I like it on the page. The delivery, the actor, who again, I'm sorry, these names escape me. He's a great actor and he's done excellent work, but it just sounds a little off here, and I don't know what it is. I think one thing is he's getting so exasperated and so worked up, and it feels feels like he should put in a cough here. Like, it's been a character trait. If you're getting worked up and you're stressed and you're having trouble, and you're trying to express yourself loudly, this should really be punctuated with your coughs. It just feels like weird that it's not, and I know that's a dumb thing you might think to rag on, but the lack of consistency takes away from it, and also the how much he cares mixed with the poor health he seems to have put himself in to have her alive really feels like it would have carried a bit of weight there. But I do like it on paper. I do like how much he cares. It's nice, and him giving the message about looking at the big picture and you should be on Amity, but then when she's actually talking about risking herself, he then has to walk that back, and it's like, no, don't, and then they're telling him, no, now you have to look at the big picture. I do like that flip, so I'm not ignoring it. It's still good. This is positive stuff, so yeah. Not a big note, just chucking it in. I do like this visual, just showing how surrounded everything is. The whale looks weird in such shadow like that, but what can you do? I still like the visual representation of it, and I like how high they are above it. Also, look how close they are to the water and the ice shelf. That's interesting. But anyway, yeah, just a little chuck-in note. Making more work for myself, but why not also add this in? Penny looks really good here. I like that they've put the detail mostly in her hair. The back doesn't have its full lines, but in general, I like her color here. The orange being slightly shifted, and it pops against the starry out of focus background. She just looks good. I don't know. It's a nice frame. Moving on. And her taking a moment to look up at the stars and the moon and sort of, I guess, reassure herself what she's doing this for. Yeah. And there's that weird reference, I think this is number 3. It's So Avengers, the first one, where Iron Man has to push the helicarrier's blade to get it spinning. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, he has to hold on long enough to get it spinning and get out before it spins. She has to hold the whole thing in place. It also is very Superman, but there's an even more Superman reference coming in a minute. But yeah, very Iron Man. So, I'm not going to show every background sleeve, but most of these are really good. Adrian is really cute here. Great work. And I do like everyone's shocked that everyone's phone or scroll or whatever and everything is turned on at once. That's cool. I want to be mad at RWBY for being like, hurry it up, don't waste time. But no, it fits her character and it adds to it. And if you were recording a message to say to the whole world, you'd probably stammer too. I don't know. Moving on. Well, what I was going to say is all these background, all these cutaway slates, of all the characters are animated quite well, and it's quite cool to go back through the places we've been and show the progress we've gone and the journey we're on. So yeah, again, one of the people you wouldn't think they'd show in this frame, but I like that they do. Thank you for that. Yeah, any more little shine we can get on Whitley, humanization and such, and the fact he's hiding in his father's office makes sense too. So yeah, I like it. Whoever, you could have put any frames here, just show through Remnant that she's talking to everyone, but whoever picked what to put, good job. Although I probably would have put this one first. It feels like we should go in reverse order, start at Atlas and move our way back, but it's not a complaint or anything. Yeah, I like this section. Good job. Just gonna capture it, because nice frame. And although one's a sun and one's a moon, it feels kind of Star Wars, like the dual suns. I know there aren't 2 suns, but with the desert and the hills, whatever. We get our first shot of Vacuo on screen. Excellent work. Cool stuff. I do have one little problem with this speech, is that we kind of skip over some detail that sounds important about what Salem is and that, but for an iconic speech, it feels like one that's gonna be it's gonna lose that impact if you play it again somberly in the future when something horrible's happened, but at least we got the message out. It doesn't have that kind of impact, but that's my only criticism of it, and that's hard to put into words, but if you watch anime and shows before, you know what I mean, where they'll give a message about how we need to band together and it's really important, and then someone will be dying or about to give their life and you play the message again and you sort of remember yeah, this is what we did it for. This doesn't have that kind of impact with some of the scripting of it, but that's a minor complaint, and they might not need to use it that way. It's just came to mind while listening to it. Cool, nice to see Ilya and nice to see Gira, although why can you make a call during the emergency everyone has to listen to this now thing? But whatever. Remembering that they're a thing, I guess they're still in Mistral from the look of that roof, but yeah, cool, I guess. Not much to say, just wanted to bring it up. I do like that we're going through again people we know, and we'll see more in a second. Yeah, there's the shopkeep. And, yeah, this is the bit that sounds off, where she just goes, we've battled this thing for centuries, Sailor. She was the one responsible for the Grimm and tearing down the academies. Makes sense. But then we jump to, I know the idea of the maidens and the relics just seem crazy. You haven't explained what those are. That wasn't covered, so we are definitely jumping over that bit. And I don't know if we had to. You could have put one extra line in. Be like, you know, there are these powerful beings called maidens. There's 4 on Remnant, and each of them can unlock a vault to get a magical item, and bringing these 4 together would cause chaos, and that's what Salem wants, or something. Like, you know, that's off the top of my head. It's not well scripted out and paced and thought out. You haven't written it down and gone over it, but it just feels like we jumped a bit there unnecessarily. But anyway. Okay, this one got my first legitimate laugh. I don't know why it's hilarious to me that Good Witch is in the shop where we met Ruby, where she ran into Ruby after the incident there. She just happens to be here, or at least that cutaway makes it feel like she's, yeah, well, no, she is, because shopkeep looked to her. Yeah, she just happens to be there. That's very funny to me. Also, Good Witch is looking great. But it, like, not just, you know, haha, but no, seriously, she looks awesome. The way they've redone her glasses and her face looks awesome. The, like, look of shock of what the hell is happening, and the little blush on her cheeks and everything, fantastic. So, and also, I thought, if way back before the volume started, when I did my videos talking about how I'd end this and what I'd do, I said that if you're going to get that communication out of what's happening, you need to reestablish, not just like, oh, people we've seen before, people like Good Witch and that. Get them on screen. You don't have to get a line out of them, just to remember that they exist. And that's exactly what they've done here. So, yeah, great job. She looks good. The model is pretty good. The face work is great. The design looks great. Like a good update of what we know. And I like it for the story, where we're introducing people we need. So, yeah, positives. And here is the downside of, well, here's, sorry, the downward slope of my enjoyment for this episode, because we're doing this, it's happening. We all knew the hack was going to happen. I'm not mad about that anymore. Like, I've come to terms with it since we saw the opening. It's just going to happen. Their explanation, I have problems with it. The fact that, okay, so the proxy trick worked, as in making Penny the proxy for his computer. So that is their basis that they're basing this sword hack on. And the way that they're explaining it is that it works at the same principle that his terminal communicates with Amity Tower. She needs to communicate with her blades to control them. But there's a huge logical flaw here, and hopefully I'm not the only one who sees it, and that's obviously it's wired in. Like I said, if you made the sword a Trojan and had to get it back to Penny and she reinstalled it and that put the I'm fine with that, because you would assume the way her blades fly around, flex and move is she's controlling the wires and that they give her communication with the blades. But no, apparently they're all remote and the wires are just there to, because they can't fly on their own, so they're there to like flex and move them. That's just like the cables. That is a flimsy explanation. And what makes that worse is I gave them an out where Pietro remoting into Penny to type and those kind of things we saw. There you go. There's a remote pathway into Penny that exists. I'd almost be better if they got Pietro, captured him, and used that remoting in sequence to remote into Penny again and hack her. Like, that would actually make way more sense. Like, the thing you need to hack her is Pietro's chair, not her sword. But the fact that, no, we can put a, red evil chip in her sword from here, and that's gonna remotely, across the kingdom, communicate with her and cause her to probably reboot and then be under control or have a switch they can flick to control or whatever. I got a problem with that, and I'm sorry. I am not a super negative person on this show, and I'm not a super positive person on this show. I just treat it fair, and I've given you all the things I really like in this episode, but I don't like this. There was other outs for them to get here if they had to get here, and they didn't take them. I think they've taken the sillier, less logical route to do this, and that's just how it is. But there's no point for anyone mad about this. There's no point sticking on it forever. you know, the show must go on and we'll keep telling the story. If you're still mad about this in 5 episodes and you're still going, that shouldn't have happened, maybe you feel that way, but we still got a show to watch, we still got a story to tell, we still got characters to do things. So, letting it ruin the show? No. Am I disappointed? Yes. But we'll move on. But they get a win back for this frame, because that's awesome. Her sort of petting him like a dog, and him sitting there like a little boy trying to get attention from his parents while they're doing something else. That's fantastic. This is awesome. So, you know, again, whoever picked these cards to play under the message, win. So, good stuff. Also, I'm putting in more frames than usual than I would for this, which again is just making a lot more work for myself. But either way, one, yikes, she really got banged up. Two, I made a video yesterday that about the possible raid on Schnee Manor and what I'd like to see and how cool that is. And I said in that video that I wanted the raid to just be Atlas soldiers and I didn't want the Aesops here, and that actually seems more likely now, like at least with the setup, if they do send if they do send soldiers here. I actually thought I'd been caught out. I'll put this in here because I didn't know where to put it. I didn't want to put out like an addendum video to the last one because I don't know who's gonna watch that and then the next one. But in the opening of the show, you see Weiss and Winter cross over the Schnee logo, and I said at the time when I did the intro review, oh yeah, you know, it's not just their family, but it's their glyph, and then that falls and shatters with Whitley and Willow beside it, and I'm like, that's all obvious, like metaphor, right? Then I make the video about, yeah, there should be a raid on Schnee Manor, and then I had people in the comments saying you should have put Winter in there, you know, to lead the force, and when I made the video, I strongly considered putting Winter in there, but I wanted to craft a scene that didn't have interaction with other huntsmen. I didn't want huntsman versus huntsman fights, semblance versus semblance fights, and working that out. I just wanted a cool raid with SWAT sort of guys and that kind of thing, and at least set that as the simple base level, and you could put stuff like Winter and that on top of it. And what I wanted to say was, I then felt like an idiot and thought, no, Winter will definitely come because the her and Weiss crossing over the Schnee logo was actually not just their glyph and semblance, but it's the big Schnee logo in the foyer of the building. And I was like, you idiot, you should have seen that before. The raid on the Schnee Manor will happen, and that'll occur. But we see in this video that maybe not, so maybe I wasn't as big of an idiot as I thought, or maybe I don't know if I gave them too much credit and thought, yeah, that obvious bit of symbolism, and it wasn't as obvious, or they're not taking advantage of it, because I thought, yeah, they're crossing over their family crest and the glyph, but I'm like, oh no, it's also the foyer of their house, where they're fighting, and it would fit into that so well. But I don't know, maybe I'm actually more on track, and they won't be, because we'll see in a second that Winter's doing something else, so yeah. But if you'd like to see the rest of that video, because I still think it's a really good video, and like I said, I think I might have been closer to the mark than I then thought I was after putting it out. And also, yeah, it's just really fun and a cool, fun discussion, whether they do it or not. It'll be linked in the iCard in your top right, and it'll be in the description of the video, and I'll put it as one of the links for the end of the video, like the on-screen display card links. So yeah, check it out if you haven't. Hey, and last one. Hello Ty, hello Zwei. Nice to see you both. And nice moment seeing his daughter on screen and hearing these horrible things that he actually already knew. Because he knew part of it at least. He probably knows about Salem because the thing Raven said that he entrusted it to their team. So he'd probably know about that. And yeah, good stuff, and the house looks basically the same, but a decent upgrade, so it looks a little nicer. Yeah, good stuff. This is another little win. I like seeing the family connection. If you're picking people to cut away who should see this, Ty is definitely one of them. So yeah, and Zwei's great. So good stuff. 3 things I'm going to chuck in real quick. 1, I didn't mention at the time, but the fact that Watts put his branded W on his chip. Okay, man. 2, I don't know how I feel about the way they're handling this. The fact that it's sort of flicking on and off, okay, but I have to go. The vault. Like, it's just telling her she needs to go do that, and like, it's not like they're like controlling her, like, it's not like they're putting her in a weird thing, she just has a compulsion to go do it. That's a weird choice. Though I do like that she's fighting it. But also, the acting, the last little bit where she goes, have to go, the vault. Like, I actually missed the word the vault the first time. I knew she said something, but I couldn't pick it up. And then she goes, no, and like grunts and puts her, like, you know, puts her back into it, sort of thing. That was really good. So that bit of voice work, I really like it when she was putting in the effort, putting in the edge. Less robot-like, perhaps, but sounding more human's a good thing when you're about to have your mind controlled, right? It's sadder and more real. So yeah. Alright, so first off, animation and lighting department put in a hell of a shift on this sequence. It looks fantastic. It's one of the best looking things we've seen. The way the re-entry flame and flicker on her, it's excellent stuff. I don't know why they were that far out. Like, atmosphere, because shouldn't the dust stop working, and Maria and Pietro should have trouble breathing, and whatever. Doesn't matter. But her doing the re-entry flames like this looks really cool. I didn't think Amity had to go that high for what they were talking about, because it whatever. You know what? Retcons, or whatever you want to call it. But also, not only does it look great, here's your Superman reference. Her, like, pushing the thing into space and falling away from it and falling back to Earth like a piece of debris and doing the whole big fall. That's happened in Superman it definitely happened in Superman Returns. It's happened outside of that, I'm sure. But yeah, here's your Superman reference. So weird reference number, I think we're at 4. But anyway, there you go. I guess at least she didn't crucifix pose on the way out, but yeah. Also, yeah, again with her becoming more human in the vocals, her I Love You was through like the communicator with a bit of static through it, and then now Pietro coughs and that was really good. So you get points for that. Great voice work, and the scripting works a lot better there, and they put in his cough and stuff there, so this scene's a lot better than the earlier one between them. Just to me. It hits harder, it hits better, at least to me. Yeah, it just hits different, in a good way. So, I got a question for you all. Here's a capture of the frame. When I watched it through the first time, I didn't watch with subtitles, but watching it through the second time, I thought I would, because when I take screenshots and stuff, it can be good to put the line on screen if I'm talking about a specific line. I've said that they have problems with their subtitles throughout the whole series, and they do. They need to get on it and fix some of them, especially for some of the really important episodes that they're either not there or out of sync, whatever. This line, he definitely says exactly what you asked, but in here it says exactly what she asked. Is that a typo? Is it a script change? Is it a secret message that this is what Salem asked him to do somehow? I don't know. I think it's probably a typo. It's probably a script change. Like, there was a version where he got threatening and goes exactly what she asked and like is turning on them, and then they changed it and he's like, yeah, exactly what you asked. And then they didn't change it for the script given to whoever was doing captions. I don't know unless they were doing it off the vocal performance, but yeah, just a weird thing I picked up, dunno, but it's here. He definitely says what you asked, and it definitely says what she asked, so I don't know. They shouldn't be putting in subliminal messages in the captions. This isn't a comedy series where the captions like talk back at you or relate to the show. So just interesting. They shouldn't be doing that, and they should fix all their captions anyway. And it's an interesting mistake / change that it's here. So just take note, everyone. Random thing I just found on the watch through. There you go. We'll skip over James just throwing his phone that'll definitely come back to bite him. He's supposed to be mad about him insulting Pietro. Again, it feels more like he should be mad about that's what she told you to do, or how did you, whatever, but doesn't matter. That wasn't the actual line, so he's just mad that he's insulting Pietro because he made the wrong choice of scientist according to Watts, I guess. I do like this again, we get more of that play of Winter looking at Penny's sword. She cares about Penny, and her and Penny's interactions were really good. You know, with the robot who's more human and the human trying to be more robotic. Really great interactions, so the fact that she cares, and she's showing that she cares, excellent. Also, holy gods, I just noticed the thigh cap on Winter. I shouldn't, yeah, just that framing. Eeks. Anyway, moving on. Hey, so I can check another one off my list of things that will definitely happen in this volume, the video I made a while ago. I don't remember I don't remember exactly everything that's on there, but I know that Winter, leading the Aesops was on there, and people were saying, no, definitely won't happen. Like, there were some people that said, yes, it would happen, it was a common prediction, but there were people in there being like, no, that wouldn't happen, she wouldn't get demoted like that, she wouldn't be put in that position. Hey, look, she's taken the Aesops, that counts, check for me. Check for everyone who predicted that. But again, not a hard prediction, just bringing it up because it's here. Let's go. Also, yeah, if they're going to raid the Schnee Manor now, like I said they should do in that video, secondary plug, check the links, end card, all that, then yeah, Winter isn't here to do it. So maybe I'm closer than I thought I would be after making it. So yeah, positives for me. Also, holy gods, Vine, look at those boots. Yeah, wow. Can I just say that Atlas security and stuff sucks, and I'm not the only one to say that. And they definitely showed it before, but look at this. Like, okay, so Crow got his pin in that he definitely shouldn't have and was hiding it from them. That's a bit of metal, you should find that easy. And then, what was it? Harriet said to him he can't keep that, but they didn't take it off him. And then here, we saw last time there were 4 guards with guns on him at all times, and because the Aesops are in the room, they've vanished now, even though they shouldn't. And no one kept an eye on him, so they didn't see him obviously swipe something. And they're not going to check his pockets or anything, so he's going to have that to break out. Yeah, I'm fine with the event. I'm fine with Ironwood gets mad and throws a phone at him, he swipes it, and that's how he gets out. That makes sense on paper, that's so good, but it's just, I gotta highlight that Atlas sucks. They're so not as good as they think they are. But also, this being the facilitation for the jailbreak is great, fine. And also, I'm hoping that is this how Crow and Robin get out? He just turns off all the security rather than like letting himself out like a smooth criminal, just like, yep, I'm out, leave you all. That kind of is, But if he can do it by just like, oh, I can't get into everything, but I can just shut it all down, bam, it's off. And then maybe we can get a little fight or something. I don't know. It'd be weird if he shut them all down and Crow and Robin escape. It'd be weird they wouldn't just attack Watts, but who knows. That'll be a bridge to cross when we get to it. But for now, But fine with it, but damn, they suck. Atlas is not good at this. Alright, you ready for that weird reference train to continue? Because here's another one. The tiny little bush on the edge of this thing here, in the close-up, it looks like a bonsai tree. So, who's been watching Cobra Kai or whatever? Because this looks like a direct reference to the bonsai tree that they put off the cliff in Karate Kid 3? The one that's like hanging off the mountain or whatever? That's a weird reference to pick, and even if you didn't, you accidentally did. And I noticed. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Alright, I'm rounding out on this. So I can say that I'm fine that my prediction was wrong, that I thought the ground splitting would be letting loose all of the little scorpion grim sulfurfish, off the top of my head, yeah. To make the boss to fight them, so they're not facing a boss fight right now. However, those could all still crawl out of this grim river anyway. It could spawn a whole bunch of stuff. It's interesting that it's going, that this is a path they're taking to make like a river of Grim, like it's like the Grim pools being like summoned or something. Interesting choice. I didn't know Salem would need a weapon like this. But also, last weird reference, because they can't stop this. Okay, so a giant river running underground towards the city of evil goop. Guys, why are you referencing Ghostbusters 2? That's your reference? That's what it feels like. We're getting weird references all over this thing. So, I can't remember them all for this episode. What is it? So we got Ghostbusters 2, Karate Kid 3, Superman, the first Avengers, what else did we have? I can't remember the others. We got a bunch. Yeah, weird references all over the place. Oh yeah, and Alien, and where's Alien 2? Whichever one, with the power loader, and I think it's Alien 2. And yeah, just, geez guys, someone who likes their movies made this one, or storyboarded this one out. But yeah, and we'll end there, so I'll be back in just a sec with my final thoughts. Alright, final thoughts. Good episode. We got a lot done. I'm always glad we're getting stuff done. When you have a season stretch over a short period of time, like 2 days or whatever, you really hope that they're not going to spend episodes wasting time. You're like, 14 episodes, which is, the long episode count, and then you have a volume taking place over a short period of time, like, are we going to be wasting a lot of time? But instead, what they've done is split up lots of groups, telling a lot of stories alongside each other, so at least when we cut back, they're all doing something, we're getting progress here and there. What else? The fight between Cinder and Penny. It wasn't all that it could have been. I like some of the fighting. I like the bows and arrows and the uses of the powers and the Grim hand sucking the aura and a few things like that. Like, I like a lot of the things in the fight, but it felt like the two maidens meeting up at the tower should have been bigger than what it was. it didn't really affect things too much, except they couldn't keep the tower up for as long as they wanted to. And Cinder Cinder disobeyed Salem to go do that, and now is immediately going to fly back just hurt, and like didn't really achieve much. And it feels like, I don't know if that was worth it, because Salem didn't even care about that message going out. She even seemingly was fine with it, and she probably thinks it's going to incite mass chaos, or and destabilize the other kingdoms anyway, or she's just not worried about them being warned because she's so powerful, so it won't make a difference, because Atlas was on high alert with the best army in Remnant, and there she doesn't seem to be worried about them either, so I don't think the other kingdoms being warned is even a huge deal for her. There'll be more if someone can send help, which they shouldn't be able to do in a day, but we'll see how the volume goes. I like the cutaways to everyone we saw, reintroducing Glinda, and she looks great. Like the updated model looks good. Seeing people like Sun and Mercury again, great. Again, also Ty and Jean's sister and all of them, good stuff. Now that RWBY's Amity plan is done and they're at Shani Manor, what's next for them? Nora needs to recover. Are they going to meet back up with the others? Like, are they going to race back to the city with this Grim river thing? Because it looks like it'll get there before them. It still could spawn. I still think it might spawn the Grim contest winner. Like, crazy stuff will pour out of it, including a whole bunch of sulfurfish, and then they'll go over the city, and we might even get more weird references. Like, I'm thinking of when it does its big worm form, it's in the art, maybe to be like, who was it? One of the Transformers has a big snake that it rides on in the movies and goes through the buildings. Maybe they'll do one of those mass destruction things, more references. But yeah, the references through this episode were weird. All the movie references that you could pick up on were a strange choice, some of them. We have the Aesops and Winter going to recover Penny, so that's interesting. I wonder where she'll land. We have Maria and Pietro now stuck up on Amity that's basically in space, so I don't know what we can do with them now. It's why I feel like Maria should have died, so we leave Pietro up there alone, and that's sadder, because I don't know what she's doing up there. Like, what are they going to do to entertain themselves? Stop being so filthy, I meant, like, what are they going to do in general? They can't broadcast signals, they can't do whatever. I don't think there's anywhere to sleep. Is there changing rooms for the tournament in the back of this? I don't know. I just don't know what we're going to do with them stuck up there now. Do they both have crazy landing strategies to jump out from space? Who knows? But yeah, overall, good episode. We have things done. RWBY's RWBY team's mini mission, side mission, is done. So that'll be very interesting. They still need to find out about Oscar and that, which means Yang's crew have to get back to the city, and the river will promote them doing that. They got to jump on that bike and fix it and get back there. We're moving things along, and I'm fine with that. Heading into the break, heading into episode 7. Well, obviously we're not heading there right now, but approaching episode 7 very quickly. We've only got 2 more episodes until then. As for what I'm gonna do when the break comes up, I've been asked that question. I'll make its own video to do with that, probably next week. I'm still planning stuff, but you'll get all the details for me personally what I'm doing when we get there. Anyway, that was the episode. I will talk to you all later. Until then, like the video if you like it, share it if you think others would like it too. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and subscribe for more, because there will be more. And yeah, my name is RWBY. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope I did alright.